So you know that in order for you to sell your product or your service, you need to have a meeting with the decision maker, who in this case is the boss in the organization. But there are these people that stand between you and the decision maker, whom we call the gatekeepers, the secretary, the PA. My name is Osas Mcheriwa, and for the past 10 years, I've been working with organizations and individuals to help them improve their selling skills so that they could sell more and bring in better revenues for their organizations and also for themselves. I want to share with you first the mistakes that a lot of salespeople make. Then I'll share with you what to do in order for you to have access to the decision makers. And then what you can also do to make sure that the gatekeeper becomes your advocate. When they go to represent you to the decision maker, they go with some favor and they go with some recommendation that the boss has to meet with you. So this is the first mistake that a lot of salespeople make. It is said that there is a very small difference in people, but that small difference makes a big difference. The small difference is attitude, and the big difference is whether it's positive or it's negative. So a lot of people approach gatekeepers with a negative attitude. Why? Because of what you have been told about gatekeepers, and also because of the experiences that you have had with them. But most of that had to do with the attitude that you already had when you approached the gatekeepers. You approach them like behemoth bouncers. You approach them like insurmountable security guards who are always there to impede your access to the decision maker. And when you approach someone with a negative attitude, already they can feel and sense that negativity. Then another mistake that a lot of salespeople make is that they try to skate around the gatekeeper. I remember listening to a lot of sales trainers saying that, no, you have to find a way to go around the gatekeeper. Sometimes you have to try and go after hours or try to go to the office very early in the morning before the gatekeeper comes. No. That doesn't work, because you try to go around the gatekeeper and then you come face to face with the gatekeeper. What do you then do? You are not prepared for that. So those strategies do not work in this day and age. You need to find strategies that really work in order for you to get access to the decision maker. So here's what you should do. But before I tell you what you should do, I would want you to correct your mindset and your attitude towards these gatekeepers. Number one, gatekeepers are there to protect their boss time. Because there are a lot of people who are time wasters, who are vying for the opportunity to meet with the boss or the decision maker. So these gatekeepers are there to protect their time. They are an asset to the decision maker. So you have to approach them with that kind of understanding. And also these gatekeepers have information that you don't have. And it's that information that you need in order for you to be able to close your sale. So these gatekeepers now, because of the nature of their job and the quality of information that they have and the access that they have to the big bosses, makes it incumbent upon you to align yourself with them. So what you should be discussing, instead of discussing ways of skating around them, we should be discussing ways of befriending them so that they become your ally in getting access to the decision maker. Once you make that right, you'll find that your access to the decision maker will become much easier to get. And it will not just be access to go and present your product, but it will be a way of creating a relationship. And the relationship that you need to create is not just with the decision maker, but it's the relationship with the gatekeeper and the decision maker. So that on a rainy day, they'll be able to stand and protect you. Now, that's point number one. So that's what you need to know and understand about the gatekeeper. Now let's look at approaching them so that you get access to the gatekeeper. Most of the times, you realize that the gatekeeper wants to know the reason why you want to see the boss, right? A lot of sales trainers will tell you that when the gatekeeper asks you what it is all about, don't tell them. Just tell them. Just say, tell him it's Osias. Okay, Osias from where? From Maputo. That's vague. The gatekeeper will keep insisting to get the right information. And as you are doing that, you are actually frustrating the gatekeeper. And they are already beginning to develop a negative attitude towards you. So how do you respond when they say, okay, you want to see Mr. Wilson. What is it about? How do you respond to that? Now, you look at the solution that you want to present to Mr. Wilson. For instance, in my case, let's say I want to present sales training. You don't respond to a question by an answer, okay? You respond to a question by a question. How do you do that in a healthy manner? I want to present sales training. What is it all about? Let's say it's a manufacturing company and I want to sell them my sales training services. I can say, well, Agnes, you know how a lot of manufacturers these days are facing challenges in terms of meeting their sales targets and hitting their revenues. Yeah, so I would want to sit with Mr. Wilson and show him some of the discoveries that we have made, which are the reasons behind a lot of manufacturers' difficulties in terms of meeting their sales revenues. Do you think he will be interested in that? You see now. Then you keep probing. All right, so has he been happy with the results that you've been getting lately? Would you know what has he been attributing the low performance to? Would you know? You see, these questions, it doesn't necessarily mean that she knows everything, but you are showing that you are concerned and you would want to show them how you can be able to help them. So if you approach that way, she will see that you have something to offer to the organization. But now if I say, it's about sales training, we offer sales training, she will say, sales training. No, they've already, he was actually commenting to me yesterday that we have closed the training budget. We no longer have any training budget, so I don't think it will be worth meeting him. Where do you go from there? No, our training is the best. You just need to give us an opportunity. That doesn't work. You get that? So when you are asked what it is all about, do not try to be vague, but talk about a problem, talk about a challenge that people in their industry are facing. And then you talk about how you want to see if their situation is also similar to the situation of others in the same industry. Then show them that you want to do some analysis to see if your solution can be a good fit to them. If you do that, the gatekeeper will open the door for you. And more so if you ask them for their opinion and what they suggest should be the best way forward. You can even get to a point where you ask them, so what do you think is the best way to approach him in order for me to show him these things that can help your organization move from this point to that point. Every time when you talk about the results that they can get at the end of the day. I would want to hear from you how you have been approaching gatekeepers of late. And then I would also want to hear how you are going to start approaching gatekeepers going forward. Please let me have that in the comment section. It will be nice to have that interaction with you. Okay? All right. Then you also need to show her that you are not a time waster. Remember, all salespeople are considered guilty of time wasting by gatekeepers. So your major responsibility now is to prove to her that you are not like all the others. You are not a time waster like the others. And also, you need to show her that you are conscious of the fact that your job, your responsibility is to save your boss time. So you can then tell her, I know one of your major responsibilities is to save your boss time and your time as well, because I appreciate how busy you guys are around here. So do you mind if I can just ask you a few questions just to ascertain if my solution can be relevant to Mr. Wilson's situation? So you can even ask him, how best do you think I should approach Mr. Wilson in order for us to discuss this? Always try to solicit your help in getting access to the boss, in getting what you want. Even though it's easy for you to get what you want, but try to find some areas where you solicit your help or his help so that they feel important. Remember, you want her to feel important. So try to ask for help and prove to her that without her help, you cannot succeed in getting whatever it is that you want to get. So when someone is made to feel important in that way, they'll also feel like helping you. I trust this has helped you in improving your relations with the gatekeepers. Yeah, if you've been new to this channel, I would encourage you to subscribe to our channel and also turn on the notification bell so that every time we upload these educational videos, you will be notified.